a climate change competence center, which was about to be set up when CF Ready started its activities in Morocco. So I think I stop here, but I think this coordination is not to be underestimated. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all of our three discussants on describing how complicated, how difficult of a process it is. I think it's inherent in the matter. You pointed out, Silke, at the end, some entities underestimate the level of effort, which can create, of course, lots of frustrations on the way. I'm not sure if a cost-benefit analysis will do the trick. Maybe there's a warning sticker that would be needed. It can take away sleep from you, and it can create frustration. At the same time, you don't want to discourage entities to enter into this game. And I'm glad that you pointed out the language issue, which is something that was actually addressed in the GCF board. I remember that one. And there's many areas of this world where other languages than English are prevailing. So we have time for 2 questions, right?
I want to come in.
Sure.
And sneak in a little comment too. I think it is also very relevant that, yes, this is not a checklist situation, but the issues that have been raised are not insurmountable. We're talking about strengthening institution, and of course there will be growing pains, especially with the direct access entities. But with Morocco, we see the benefit of having had the adaptation fund accreditation, which would have put you on the fast track. Mindful, of course, that that didn't solve everything, but institutions, the communications barriers, you know, what needs to be done in terms of coherence at the international level, but also at the national level, these are all important things. And I think that spin also needs to be taken into account. But yeah, 1 or 2 questions.
Thank you for that comment. So 2 questions. Yes, please. And then there's back there.
As a representative of Moroccan NDA, let me express my gratitude to GCF. We are very satisfied about our cooperation with GCF. But as you know, that NDA of Morocco has given more than 10 letters of no objection to our national NIA. But we notice that there is a slowness on this process. So I want to know how can NDA can facilitate this process of accreditation. The second issue, our private and financial actors are very involved in climate change issue, and we want to increase their involvement. But there is an initiative launched by GCF, is the private initiative facility. We want to know more about that, and what kind of support can NDA have, and our private sector have, in order to involve them in the field. Last point regarding the cooperation South-South, there is a lot of things to exchange, many best practice. So beside the structured dialogue, I asked GCF to convene a mini platform and the debate space to enhance these practices.
Thank you for your 3 questions, or 2 questions and 1 remark. Then we had the lady back there. You have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Anne Barr from the Women and Gender constituency. I first wanted to congratulate Mayem and Lucy for our very inspiring presentation. And this is really a fantastic example also of support provided from the GIZ and from the Green Climate Fund. The projects, if I understand well, concerns the Argan forest, and it is well known that indigenous women have a very important role to play in this area, as they have a recognized ancestral knowledge recognized by the UNESCO. And knowing also that this is a very important dimension taken into consideration both by Morocco as a country, the gender dimension I mean, and also ancestral knowledge, and also by the GIZ. Maybe there are a few points that you want to highlight how this was taken into consideration in your application as an entity, and especially in the project that was then awarded by the GCF or taken on board by the GCF in this. Thank you.
Thank you. The discussants, how do you want to answer it? Juan, do you take the first? Please.
Okay. Of course, let me go first on the question of the important role of NDA in facilitating this process. I actually just realized I did have actually one slide, and one of the key messages that I had that slide was precisely the very important leadership that is required from NDA in all of this process, not just on this issue on identifying access. I think that the comment that the colleague from GIZ made is very relevant here, and it goes in line with what we had in identifying entities. It's very important that perhaps an analysis be made of which ones are the best to put forward to ensure that the whole landscape of needs of the country may be covered, and to also ensure that the better that the entity can be set up to have a proven record of all the criteria that will be required, it will probably put the entities in better stage. At this point, the board has actually begun last year to undertake a process of prioritization of all the different entities that are in the pipeline. Like I said, close to 200. And to connect to your second question, one of the points that, with regards to private sector, the board has actually asked that also these entities be prioritized. So the accreditation committee of the fund, supported by the secretariat and the accreditation panel, we hope we will be beginning to see the results of this strategic guidance received by the board very shortly, with regards to not just direct access entities, but entities to be accredited as a whole. Now that said, of course, more specifically on private sector, this is a key feature of the Green Climate Fund, and if I may put it in personal as a personal view, it's a feature that perhaps doesn't get all the attention that it probably deserves. It's the private sector facility set up by the fund it's a strategic window for countries to engage and to bring forward actors that for very long we have sort of have been sitting on the side of this debate, and so I will strongly encourage everyone to consider engaging with the facilities that have been made available specifically on the private sector. One of them, which recently we have, recently there was a request for proposals on micro, small, and medium enterprises, where we have received some very successful proposals, and it remains there as a space for private sector entities to engage. I leave it there. Sorry, just perhaps on the gender point, proposals under GCF do have often a very strong gender work plan component, and this is something that we hope to see become even stronger and more of not just a side component, but a strong feature of proposals.
Thank you, Juan. And let's not forget the discussants will also be hopefully participating in the breakout session. So, Miriam, please.
It's okay. So thank you, Anne, for your question. So regarding your question, I will just to highlight that's the up to 50% of the beneficiaries of this project are women. And the second component of the project is aiming to organize the downstream chain value of the organ chain value by organizing these women, members of cooperative, into group of interest economic, and to involve them in the market by promoting cosmetic products and all the products issued on or through the oil organ. High implication of these women in the consultative process on formalizing the project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Silke?
Well, actually, I don't have much to add on this. Just to say that, well, I think in the accreditation process, most important is that the environmental and social safeguards are right and consider the topics of the relevant topics of the country, of the gender, and as well as the traditional knowledge and the indigenous rights. But more important then is that the actual project proposals really consider who are the beneficiaries of the project, and so this is the relevant role has the NDA in this case to choose where to funds and in what sectors and what projects.
Thank you. Yeah, and thank you for pointing that out. Did you want to add something? Then I would like to give the discussants a hand for their presentation. Thank you very much. And then we have a change of guards.